All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into the Green Zone. Apologize for the late start. There's just a couple things for college football that I wanted to look at, and the news came out later than I anticipated for today. But nonetheless, we have everything ready to go. All my bets for college football today, all my bets for NFL Sunday and Monday. And with that being said, let's get right into the action. First game up is the Broncos at the Jets, which will be in London this week. The Broncos are a 6.5 point favorite with the over under at 43.5. I would only lay the Broncos here, but it won't be an official bet for me. After that performance last week, it's going to be really hard to bet the Jets the rest of the season at any point. If you listen to the show, you know I had them actually on the money line against the Cowboys last week. Did not go well, needless to say. But that being said, I think the Broncos in a teaser would be a great look this week. But I know teasers have been getting priced out in recent years. So it will be Broncos or nothing for me in this game. It's never the Jets if you want to play this game. Next game up is the Browns at the Steelers. The Steelers are a 6.5 point favorite with the over under at 38.5. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there for this play, but I do lean on the under 38.5 in this one. The Browns are more of a dink and dunk offense now with Dylan Gabriel. They want to get it to the tight ends, run a lot of two tight end sets. And then even Isaiah Bond, their most explosive receiver that they had, was catching a lot of balls on short routes last week. And then also the Browns defense is really solid. They're a bad football team, so people tend to overlook how good that defense is. But I think they're going to be able to limit what the Steelers do offensively. Um, but this total's crept down pretty good amount so far this week. So it's too low to the point where I don't know if I see enough value to actually pull the trigger. But if you want to bet this game, it would be the under 38.5 or nothing for me. Chargers at the Dolphins. The Chargers are a 3.5 point favorite with the over under at 38.5. Both offenses lack explosiveness. The Chargers are dealing with O-line injuries, which aren't going to allow Herbert time to stand back there and allow long, explosive, deep shots to develop. And then on the flip side, the Dolphins obviously lost Tyreek Hill, their most explosive receiver. Now, while they still have Jalen Waddle, who is a burner, he more tends to run those intermediate and short routes and try to make plays with it after the catch. So he's not necessarily a guy who stretches the field consistently enough for me to view them as an explosive offense still without Tyreek Hill. I think this total is going to be low. Both of these defenses and pass rushes are kind of underrated in my opinion. So I think it's going to stay under the total. The under 43.5 is a bet for me. Patriots at the Saints. The Patriots are a 3.5 point favorite with the over under at 45.5. It's kind of scary to bet in over here because just like we just said on the Dolphins Chargers game, both of these teams lack explosive plays. But I do think the Patriots are going to be able to move the ball against this Saints defense. And then when you're forced the Saints to get into a passing state where they have to throw the ball, they can move the ball. I mean, they have Chris Olave outside, Rashid Shaheed, and then obviously one of the better tight ends in the league in Jawan Johnson as well. I think this one's going to get over the total here. So give me the over 45.5 in the Patriots Saints. Rams at the Ravens. Rams are a 7.5 point favorite with the over under at 45.5. Now I was a little hesitant to bet this one because of the original weather report that was out in this game. It was supposed to be heavy downpours, 25 plus mile per hour winds. But as we've gotten closer to game time, it seems like they're going to be more of a normal 10-mile-an-hour winds. There's still going to be some rain, but the wind is the biggest factor when it comes to a passing attack. So I was a little hesitant off the first weather report, because I didn't think the Rams were going to be able to throw the ball in those 25 plus mile per hour winds. But now that we're down to like a normal 10-mile-an-hour game with some rain, players can deal with rain. It's more the wind that affects the passing attack, which is going to be normal here. I think Stafford's going to be able to throw the ball. So give me the Rams minus 7.5 here versus the Ravens. Cardinals at the Colts. The Colts are a 6.5 point favorite with the over under at 47.5. Now, look, this is ugly. I'm leaning the Cardinals here. The Colts are being priced like one of the elite teams in the NFL. And like while they've gotten off to a great start, I'm just not sure that they're on that level yet. And the Cardinals do stink. They play every game close, but they end up losing a majority of those games. But they do play every game close. Which is why I think getting 6.5 here would be the valuable side with the Cardinals. My only holdup is Kyler Murray is expected to not play tomorrow. Jacoby Brissett would be the backup. So I am curious to see how much this line moves once that news becomes official that Jacoby Brissett will play over Kyler Murray. So we might be able to get more points with the Cardinals, and I'm going to have to take a hard look at that. But it would be the Cardinals or nothing for me because they tend to play games close. And getting 6.5 in the Cardinals game, I feel like is valuable. Seahawks at the Jaguars. The Seahawks are a 1.5 point favorite with the over under at 47.5. I really want to bet Seattle in this spot with the Jags coming off an emotional win over the Chiefs, but their secondary injury report is devastating. Woolen, Witherspoon, and Love are all listed as doubtful in this game, and that is their main core when it comes to guarding the passing attack, which is the strength of this Jaguars team. Liam Cohen wants to get it out and throw the ball with their weapons, but that's just I think it's just a great spot for Seattle, but I just don't think with that secondary injuries that I can get behind them in this one. And it sucks because I was on Monday. This is one literally the spot I circled and the one I wanted to bet the most. But that being said, missing three key guys in the secondary for Seattle, I can't get behind that. So it's going to have to be a pass for me in Seattle, Jacksonville. Next up is the Cowboys at the Panthers. The Cowboys are a 3.5 point favorite with the over under at 49.5. Look, the Cowboys are playing good football the past couple weeks, but their injury reports weekly just keep getting longer and longer, and you don't know what you're going to get from the Panthers on a week-to-week basis. I don't feel like there's really a valuable side that you could put much confidence in this game, so I'm going to go ahead and pass the Cowboys-Panthers as well. Titans-Raiders. The Raiders are a 3.5 point favorite with the over-under at 41.5. Why the hell would I put myself through the agony of having to watch me put real money on the Raiders or the Titans in the year of our Lord 2025? Hard pass for me. No interest in this game whatsoever. 49ers at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are a 3.5 point favorite with the over under at 47.5. This is another game where I'm not sure it's going to be an official bet, but I do lean the 49ers in this one. But the injury report is just too much for me, much like the Seattle game. So it's hard for me to really back them with any confidence. That being said, it would be the 49ers or nothing for me here against the Buccaneers. Bengals at the Packers. The Packers are a 14.5 point favorite with the over under at 44.5. I typically hate laying big spreads in the NFL, but this one is just set up so much in favor of the Packers. The Bengals are going to be starting Joe Flacco at quarterback this week, who just got to the team this week. He's had 3 days to learn the playbook. And yeah, he was the QB of the Browns who beat the Packers a couple weeks ago. But look at that box score closer. The Packers defense absolutely dominated that Browns offense. And now this time around, Flacco, who's already a statue in the pocket back there, is no longer having the Browns offensive line to support him or the Browns defensive side of the ball to support him as well. The Bengals offensive line is absolutely abysmal compared to the Browns, and the defense is even a bigger fall off compared to the Browns. I just think this is going to get ugly very quickly, and I love the Packers here. I think this game is going to be like something like 31-7 or like something like that. So give me the Packers minus 14.5. Lions at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 2.5 point favorite with the over under at 52.5. The injury report for the Lions at corner is awful. They might be without their top 4 guys, I believe, in this one. And the Chiefs offense has finally got it going in recent weeks. But this KC defense is not up to what we have seen in recent years and what we've gotten used to out of that unit. And the Lions are the Lions. They're typically a dead over team. The defense kind of is lackluster, but the offense is really explosive, and they're going to put up a lot of points. That leads me to one of my favorite bets this week. I like the over 52.5 here in Kansas City, Detroit. I think both offenses are going to score, and I'm not going to see many stops, much resistance from these defenses. So give me the over 52.5. Bills at the Falcons is one of 2 Monday night games this week. The Bills are a 4.5 point favorite with the over under at 49.5. Now, the Bills every week have a bunch of guys listed as questionable on the defensive side of the ball. So it remains to be seen what I'm going to do in this game. I have to see that injury report come Monday. So I'm not going to waste your time much in this one. Moving on to the second game where I have a bet on Monday night, the Bears at the Commanders, with the Commanders a 4.5 point favorite with the over under at 50.5. I think the bye week was big for the Bears in this one. They're going to be able to get healthier on defense. They were a really banged up unit on that side of the ball. And I do think Ben Johnson is going to be able to not fix Caleb Williams, but really get after it and work with Caleb Williams on what they want to tweak about this offense to be more explosive after the bye week. And the Commanders' defense is nothing to write home about. I think the Bears are going to have no problem scoring on this defense. And then the Commanders also on the other side are going to have success being able to run the ball in this Bears defense, no doubt. But I just think this game is these two teams are closer than the market suggests. I mean, you saw them play last year. The Commanders went to the NFC Championship game. The Bears obviously were one of the worst teams in the league, and the Commanders had to win it on a walk-off Hail Mary. So I think 4.5 points is too many here. Give me the Bears plus 4.5 against the Commanders. Now moving on to my red hot locks this week for the NFL. It's going to be dope. We had a great week last week. We went 5-2. We also hit the parlay today. Was a plus 9 unit Sunday. So hopefully, let's pick up where we left off and keep that going tomorrow. And then we're going to get to my college football picks for today as well after this. That being said, Dolphins, Chargers under 43.5 for a half unit is my first red hot lock. The Patriots, Saints over 45.5 for a half unit. The Rams minus 7.5 for a half unit. The Packers minus 14.5 for 2 units. The Chiefs Lions over 52.5 for 1 unit. And then the Bears plus 4.5 on Monday night for 1 unit. I apologize. I usually don't have that many half unit bets, but with weather and the injury reports this week, it's just there's not a lot that I really love this week. So I don't want to just bet for the sake of betting. So we're going to play it safe, try to get some green this week and then move on to next week where hopefully we'll have more value and be able to up the bet size. Now, that being said, here is my NFL parlay of the day for the NFL tomorrow. It is the Rams minus 7.5, the Packers minus 14.5, and the Chiefs Lions over 52.5. And as always, parlay today, you're going to put 1 unit on that, and this one pays $5.93. So again, Rams minus 7.5, Packers minus 14.5, and Chiefs Lions over 52.5 on that one. Now to college football, which is going to be kick off in about 25 minutes. I'll just have this go ahead and scroll on the bottom in case you guys don't want to stick around and hear my analysis on why I'm betting the games. But the first one up is going to be Ohio State minus 14.5 versus Illinois for a full unit. Illinois came into the season with a lot of hype around them, and they gotten off to a decent start. They were able to hold on and take down USC a couple weeks ago, but we just saw them step up in class against Indiana, and they got absolutely dump trucked in that game. Now, Ohio State coming in is a even bigger step up with a top 10 defense in the country as well to go along with their prolific offense led by Jeremiah Smith. Obviously, Illinois is 120th in the country in havoc allowed, so Ohio State's defense should be able to live in the backfield and put Altmaier in long passing downs. And Illinois will not be able to hit explosive plays in this one, which I think they're going to need to succeed. I don't see a path to success for them to hit any explosives against this Ohio State defense. I think this one, again, is big blowout potential. So give me Ohio State minus 14.5 against Illinois. The other noon kickoff game is Missouri and Alabama. I'm on the over 52.5 in that one for a full unit. Now, look, I don't like Missouri's secondary at all in a matchup against this Alabama receiving group. And Ty Simpson, it seems to be settled in at quarterback for this Crimson Tide offense. And on the other side, Missouri should be able to hit explosives on the ground all day, led by Ahmad Hardy and Bo Pribula at quarterback as well, one of the best running threats in the country at the quarterback position. I think we're going to see explosive plays all over the field in this one. So I like the over 52.5 in Alabama, Missouri for a full unit. Now, moving on, Michigan, USC over 56.5 for 1 full unit as well. This isn't the Michigan shutdown defense that we're used to seeing. They are 91st in the country in defensive finishing drives. 20 opponent possessions have crossed the Michigan 40-yard line this year, and teams are averaging 4.1 points per drive once they get into scoring position against this Wolverine defense. Now comes in USC, who's led by quarterback Jordan Mailata, who's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country. And I think they're going to be able to have success against this Michigan defense. But on the flip side, the USC run defense is atrocious. They're really soft in the middle. Michigan should be able to eat on the ground against this USC defense today. USC has a 39% success rate against inside zone this year, and Justice Hayes and Bryce Underwood at quarterback as well should be able to exploit that mismatch. And I think this game is going to get into the high 20s, low 30s in this one each. So I'm thinking this game is going to go over the total of 56.5, and I love the over here. Now, the final bet of the night is Utah versus Arizona State. Utah minus 9.5 for one full unit against Arizona State tonight. Arizona State's going to be without their star QB, Sam Levitt, in this one. And the backup is college veteran quarterback Jeff Sims, who started previously for Georgia Tech and Nebraska, but he's absolutely brutal. I'm actually think it's amazing that Sims continues to get opportunities at different schools because he is easily one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen at the Division I level. Arizona State will be getting their main receiving core back in this one as well, but with Sims at quarterback, I don't think it's going to matter. Utah is a playmaking quarterback who can take advantage of this Arizona State defense, and Utah also consistently year in and year out has one of the best defenses in the country, and Utah is also one of the hardest environments to play in college football. So I like USC. I like Utah to be able to get it done here against Arizona State tonight. So to recap the college football red hot locks: Ohio State minus 14.5 for one full unit. Alabama, Missouri over 52.5 for a full unit. Michigan, USC over 56.5 for a full unit. And then Utah minus 9.5 for one full unit. And I really do like this college card. That's why every play is a full unit. So I'm also going to go ahead and parlay all four of those plays. If you parlay all four for a half unit, it pays out plus 1260. So again, Ohio State minus 14.5, Alabama, Missouri over 52.5, Michigan, USC over 56.5, and Utah minus 9.5. Parlay them together, it's plus 1260. As always, thanks for tuning in. Bet responsibly, and let's have a winning day.